Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you so much for tuning into the Fair Fight Wrestling podcast. On today's episode, we are going to be talking about your Money in the Bank predictions. So stay tuned. Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you so much for tuning in to the Fair Fight Wrestling podcast. My name is Theron Stanky. I'm happy to be your host today. We really appreciate you tuning in and checking out your Money in the Bank predictions. And what do I mean by your predictions? Well, if you were to head on over to Twitter and follow us at Fair Fight Audio every Monday and Tuesday, if you use that hashtag Raw and SD Live, you can, or just follow us on Twitter, you can join us in our polls every week. And this past Tuesday, we put up the Money in the Bank predictions, and we want to know who you think is going to come out on top coming out of Sunday. So Today, we are going to be talking about your Money in the Bank predictions, and let's jump right into it. So starting off with the Money in the Bank ladder match for the men's championship, we had your poll results come in. I had to be a little creative because Twitter only allows us 4 categories for poll topics, so I had to throw in like, all right, hey, retweet for this guy and like for this guy, but did a little math, and it was a 3-way tie. You guys all gave 30% of the votes to AJ Styles, Sami Zayn, and Baron Corbin. I don't necessarily disagree with that too much. 10% of the votes went to Shinsuke, and 0% of the votes went to Kevin Owens and Dolph Ziggler. Also, one of the themes here on Fair Fight is we want, I don't want this just to be about my opinions. I want it to be about your opinions. Give a fair chance to everybody and a fair chance to every poll topic. So let's run it down here real quick. Kevin Owens, you got 0% there, and I understand that. I mean, he's got the United States Championship, but for the same reason that they gave Seth Rollins the WWE and United States Championship at the same time, it's not outside the realm of possibility. Shinsuke Nakamura, don't know what he'd look like walking around with that briefcase, and I hope that they have bigger and better plans for him. AJ Styles does not need, in my opinion, that Money in the Bank briefcase to send him up to the top of the ranks. He's already there. Dolph Ziggler has already had Money in the Bank. If they gave it to him for the second time, I don't know how that would necessarily help or hurt him, I guess, to be fair. And so, in my opinion, I think it's really down to either Sami Zayn or Baron Corbin. And I think when you really look at it, you're gonna have an opportunistic heel running with that briefcase, or you're gonna have somebody like Sami Zayn, who is, the fresh baby face. We're waiting for that music to hit. It's gonna be a huge pop when it does. So I think you got equal arguments for both Sami Zayn and Baron Corbin, and I'm excited to see who comes out on top. All right, moving right along to the WWE Championship match between Jinder Mahal and Randy Orton. 78% of the vote went to Jinder Mahal coming out on top, and 22% remaining went to Randy Orton. I don't disagree with this whatsoever. I don't think it's time to take that belt off of Jinder just yet. I think, especially with his presence in the new India market, it would be really ill-advised of them to make it such a short run to give the belt back to Orton. So I agree with that 78% that Jinder is going to be retaining his championship at the end of the night. The big question is are we going to see Rusev, and who's he going after? So keep that in mind. All right, next match, talking about the women's first ever Money in the Bank ladder match. Really looking forward to this. I think hopefully this has been in the plans for a long time. They've had a really long time to work out possible kinks and do some new innovative stuff. Interestingly enough, your votes came in that 50% of you thought that Charlotte was going to come away with that briefcase. I have a hard time seeing her with that briefcase. Actually, let me rephrase that. I have a I tremendously think it'd be great visual to see her with that briefcase, but it's not going to help her any. And that's why I agree more along the lines of somebody like Tamina or somebody like, and who Tamina actually got 17% of your votes. Becky Lynch got 33, and 0% went to Natalya and Carmella. I think Tamina has a small shot, but if I had to put money on it, I say it's going to be Carmella. To have that visual of her and James Ellsworth carrying around that briefcase, that opportunistic heel, the quote-unquote undeserving #1 contender, I think will make for good TV. Whether or not she actually gets that championship on the cash-in, that remains to be seen. But it will be interesting seeing what things look like on the other side of Sunday. All right, moving on to our SmackDown Tag Team Championship match between the Usos and the New Day. 50-50 votes here on this poll. 50% of you said New Day, 50% of you said Usos. And you know what? I think that's very telling of what this is going to look like. I think it's going to be a really strong match. Maybe some involvement with the Fashion Police one way or another. But I am actually, for once, looking forward to a tag team match. And I think it's going to be a good showing on both parties. If I had to put my money on it, I don't know. I'm going to leave it with 50-50 booking because I think there's a strong argument for the retaining and the new championship scenarios. So let's move along to the Women's SmackDown Women's Championship. 60% of your votes, guys, came back that you think Lana is going to defeat Naomi and claim that belt. I don't know what to think of that. I was surprised at these results. I thought everybody thought overwhelmingly that Naomi was just going to retain and Lana would move on to a different program. It'll be interesting. I think you're going to see a good wrestling showing between the two of them. I think they're going to be working really hard, especially Lana, to impress everybody and make sure that she's seen in the eyes of folks as not just, Rusev's manager or a dancer, but an actual wrestler. If I had to put money on it, I'd say that Naomi's retaining, but I think we're going to be in store for a good, solid match. Another match that was added after our polls went up, so I don't have any results here. Mojo Rawley and Zack Ryder versus the Colognes in the pre-show match. I think it'll be a decent enough match. Here's the big question. I'd love to hear your comments, so leave those down below. Do you think that Mojo and Zack Ryder, one of the two, is going to turn heel and turn on one another in the upcoming weeks? A lot of speculation about that, and I think it would do a lot of good for both of them, unless they have a really good tag team showing to help further elevate the tag team division, give us some fresh matches, because after all, they do have the opportunity for a tag team title shot owed to them, so it's going to make for hopefully good TV in the upcoming future. So guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I sincerely subscribe if you like the content that you're seeing. Hit that thumbs up for me. That also helps out as well. Let me tell you what you can get by subscribing here and by following us at Verified Audio. You always have the opportunity to vote in our polls, and then your comments and your poll results, your votes are commented on and chatted about in this podcast. So the more you comment, the more we can talk about, and the more I can get everybody involved in what I hope to be a very viewer-centered wrestling podcast. So thank you again, guys, so much. Also, if you want to help out the channel, check out the links in the description. The shirt that you saw at the beginning of this video in the introduction and what you see right here is available on. And I always have links. Some of them are affiliate links, some are not. But that is a way that you can help out the channel and keep us going. So, guys, thank you so much for your support. I hope you guys have a great Money in the Bank weekend, and we will talk to you soon.